Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video, it's Ready to Love Miami, episode 3 entitled Opposites Don't Always Attract. I give a full episode recap with photos offset to the side, and then I give my review at the end. No need to dig around and keep all of the minute marks in the comments. It's all coming up next. It's the first gentleman's lounge with Tommy. To break the ice, Tommy jokes with Swayze about how each time his shirt seems to be a little too tight. Next time, he should try a medium. Back to business, Tommy now wants the scoop. What are some of the struggles in dating in Miami? Samson and Zo agree the superficial wears off, and after a period of time, it's a struggle to get to know somebody who's intriguing and also has depth. This week, Tommy challenges them to date someone they usually wouldn't date. Try different tactics. They may adhere to someone special. Mike mentions to production that he had a close call with being eliminated, so he wants to pump up the efforts in getting to know everyone. EJ meets with Looney for the first one-on-one date, and he mentions to production that even though she's been away, she's always been on his mind. Looney agrees to production that he has been really sweet with checking in on me and showing true interest. I'm excited about this first date. Hopefully he keeps up the same energy he displayed during the mixer. She shares with him that he has been the only one who has been consistent. He wants to know, what does she look for in a man? She wants someone genuine and someone that can show true attention to her. She continues that her mother passed away in 2016, so her man would have to show that he is dependable. When she lost her mom, she lost her family. EJ can relate. All of his family are back home. In the States, he unfortunately has no family. Shakira and Zo meet up, and she's interested to know if he has the mindset and understanding that she has a child, and he can relax and not come off as such a bachelor. She even requests for him to remove his sunglasses so she can look into his eyes. She does tell him that she has reservations about his lifestyle. He travels a lot and they would be a good match, but she's a mother. Zo is quick to remind her that he's a father and he takes his relationship with his daughter very seriously. He understands that her son is an extension of her, just like his daughter is an extension of him. Shakira apologizes that she had preconceived notions about him. She feels some type of way because at the mixer, he didn't ask for her number. But Zo explains why ask for a number if there wasn't a connection. Now he's interested in getting her number and getting to know her, and he wants his actions to display his true self. Sampson meets with Charisse, and he admits to production that his first interaction with her wasn't the best. He tried to speak with her at the mixer, but she wouldn't even give him eye contact. She was too focused on her phone and seemed cold. To spark up some conversation, Charisse brags that her body physique is natural because the women in her family are built very well. Trying to bring up a little bit more of substance to the conversation, Samson speaks on how his parents were opposites when it came to lifestyle, but they were truly in love and had 5 wonderful children. He knows that his mom would have loved to see him married and have a family of his own. Charisse admits to production that conversation with Samson was easy, and maybe more dates will come in the future. He's more interested in making sure whomever he dates has a true connection with him. Mike arrives early to a trapeze training session. He admits that it's surely out of my comfort zone, but it would be fun to try something new. It's fun with Looney, Kayla, Justice, Swayze, April, and Charisse. April is proud to show off her flexibility and that she's always been an athlete. Everyone shows off their skills, but Mike is more interested in chatting with Kayla. April then notices after a period of time that the men have paired off with the other women, and she's literally all by herself. She takes an intentional moment to break up the conversation between Mike and Kayla. April could tell that Kayla was a little bothered, but she didn't care. April tells Mike that she noticed that he didn't take the time to get to know her, and the conversation gets a little intense. She pressures Mike into saying, "You should know what you want, and if you wanted me, you should have came to me. You should have talked to me. You should have said this. You should have said that." Gladly, Swayze comes by to break this uncomfortable moment. Mike says to production that I didn't like how April was very confrontational, and he's not here for that. He's looking for love. Justice and Looney chat, and Looney is honest that she was disappointed she missed the brunch. There was more time for everyone to just vibe. Justice lets her know that rumor has it that she is the vibe, and a lot of fellas have confirmed it. Maybe he needs to see what this vibe is all about. Kayla is more curious about Swayze. She loves his smile, and it seems that every time she sees him, he looks better and better. What's the one thing you need to improve on, Swayze? And he admits that he could get out of the habit or get into saving money more. He works hard and plays hard, and Kayla agrees. That's actually a good thing. Charisse and Mike talk, and Charisse tells him that his previous marriage and kids were baggage, and Mike is quickly offended. Charisse wants a man who doesn't have kids and who hasn't been married. I mean, that's just what I want, period. If you're offended, that's just you. Randall and Trunika have a one-on-one date, and they blush being in each other's presence. Trunika is happy that she took the time after a relationship to get to know herself more and take more time for healing. She wants a spiritual connection. She takes some additional time to calm Randall since he's super nervous. He loves her attentiveness and honesty. Brandy, Mike, Swayze, and Kadian enjoy some archery. It's all fun, and then of course the fellas get a little competitive. When Kadian and Mike start to chatter, Brandy and Swayze have a little awkwardness in getting some conversation going. Eventually they break the ice with a little discussion about new things. Swayze is confident that he's a good catch. Kadian and Mike's conversation go left when he calls her uptight, and Mike feels that she's a little aggressive. He's not as talkative after she calls him an introvert. He says to production that I'm not an introvert. I just don't like continuing a conversation with her. I'm not interested in anything else she has to say. Gladly, Brandy and Mike naturally gravitate to one another. He keeps it real that he has talked with other women because of this process, but he's serious about getting to know Brandy even more. He gets butterflies when he speaks with her. It's something he hasn't felt in a long time. Swayze and Kadian have more fun, and he wants to connect with her. They seem to share laughs and conversation that they don't have with anybody else. It's back at the gentleman's lounge, and Sampson is uneasy. It doesn't feel right about sending someone home. Swayze arrives last, and Tommy can't resist to snap on his shirt again, letting him know that it's okay. You can rock on with your small shirt. Did anyone find a connection this week? Sampson feels that there's potential with Charisse. They hopefully can have another date. Randall digs Trunika and updates everyone on their amazing one-on-one date. LJ tells everyone that he had a wonderful one-on-one date with Looney. They've chatted over a period of time, and the date will further confirm their attraction. He wants to keep that going. Justice agrees about Looney. She's interested, and I want to get to know her more. EJ says to production, Justice is trying to scoop up this lady that I am more interested in. The challenge is on. Now it's time to get to something a little bit more serious. Who needs to go home? Which lady just isn't cutting it? Zo says Brandy, there's no connection, and we haven't had that much time to get to know each other. Mike says April. He didn't like how she was so aggressive when it should have just been a calm conversation. Sampson says April. There's not a connection there at all. EJ votes Charisse. Swayze says Trunika. There wasn't any romantic anything. Justice says Kadian. Don't poke the bear. Don't DM me at 1 a.m. unless you want that. Mike says Kadian. The demeanor was very harsh. She feels like she can give me an interview and doesn't have any conversation. She had the nerve to interrogate me while eating. It's up to the men to let one lady know who needs to step it up, and the other's journey is coming to a close. Tommy reminds everyone to always deliver any news with respect. EJ meets with April, and Swayze meets with Kadian. When EJ speaks with April, he admits to production that he's very nervous about speaking with April, as they've never even had a chance to talk. He wants to know how April is liking the journey so far, or if she's had any connections. She does, and says the fellas have had excellent qualities, but there wasn't really anything too romantic yet. For those reasons, she's not ready to love. April looks back on her experience and feels that she wouldn't do anything different. She's just being herself and still ready to love. When Swayze meets with Katie, she's reserved to know why she's there, and Artie has her guard up. He lets her know that the men met this week and she knows that something is up. He lets her know that the men feel that she's very intimidating. They don't want to be interrogated. They want to have fun and get to know her. The men have decided that even though she can come off as harsh, that she's staying and she's still ready to love. She mentions to production that if they think that I've come off as aggressive and intimidating, they haven't seen anything yet. And that is the end of the episode. And now it is time for your favorite part of the video. That's right, my review. So for those of you who have been following me for a while with these Ready to Love reviews, you know that every now and then there are women in each season who I say that need to turn up the meow mix. When I say that, I mean that sometimes you have to understand that men love the little meow, 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 meow. You know, you want to make it known that you're flirting, that you show interest, and to kind of let your guard down about a lot of things. Sometimes when you bring energy about previous relationships or somebody that reminds you of the love that you once knew, you bring that when you know people, okay? People have no reason or they have no power over who you met with in the past. And if they remind you of the past, or if you're taking preconceived notions with you when you're meeting other people, when you do that, it just kills the meow mix. It kills the flirtation. It kills the openness to get to know one another. When it came with April, we saw time and time again that she's really not flirting. She thinks that she's flirting, but she's not. When she meets with each guy, it's kind of like sitting there and getting interviewed and getting interrogated. When they had the date of learning the different stretching techniques and learning the trapeze moves, she was so focused on being an athlete and showing off her moves so much that the guys were like kind of veered off and start talking with other women because the women had the meow mix up. Like, hi, I'm here. I'm interested. Let me go ahead and bat my eyes, right? And sway my hips and let you know, meow, 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 meow. April wasn't doing that. It came off very harsh and it came off very cold, whether it was intentional or not. And majority of the time it's unintentional. But when you turn off the meow mix, you display that harshness. You display that here I am, nobody here is worthy to talk to me, blah, blah, blah. I'm amazing, but maybe they're not. It bleeds through. And they saw that with April. And I projected in the other reviews that maybe she doesn't need to be here. I talked about the casting and I talk about the casting directors not being sexist, not being someone who's against people of particular ages. But when it comes to a show like this, Ready to Love, they seem to always have the ages so high and they blend it with people who are 30 and 32. It's like, majority of people that are in their late 40s or close to being 50 or late 30s, they've either, who they've casted so far, has either been married, divorced, and they have children. A lot of people who are trying to go back into dating or ready to love do not want someone who's been married and has children, which is fair to say, which goes into my next point, speaking about Charisse. Now, Charisse can come off as cold, but she is very honest and she does say what she wants, whether you like her or not. She said, hey, Mike, I'm sorry to tell you that, but I want a man. I would prefer for a man to have not already been married and a man to not have kids. Now, the descriptive of baggage was harsh and it was wrong, in my opinion, to say that. She should have just said that's not my preference, because to call somebody's past baggage is a lot. But let's be real. When it's flipped around the other way and men see women who have kids, unfortunately, that word baggage is thrown around. Oh, I don't want a woman with kids and I have to deal with the kids. And it's fair that a woman should say what she wants as well. I'm just not here for Charisse and some of her tones and wordings that she said. She could have said it a little nicer, but she was honest. She's like, look, that's not what I want. And sorry if I offended you, but I don't want to be with somebody that's been married, and I don't want to be with somebody who has children. Keep in mind, Mike has 3 kids, okay? So that's honestly pushing somebody into mommy mode if I am interested, okay? So let's just be real about that. Everyone has the right to say what they want, how they want it, and moving forward. This is a casting issue. When you blend people who you already know what they're getting into, that is a casting issue. I feel that casting should look more into individuals who don't have any children, who aren't married, to mix that in. Because when you only have a few here and there who don't have kids, who haven't been married, that only leaves a handful of people that you can pick at the end. And every week we're eliminating people. Every week somebody's got to go home. And keep in mind, in between, that's not enough time for everybody to get to know one another. I'll say it again. And for those of you who follow me, you're going to get really sick of me saying this. I really think they all need to be in a mansion together, and they all need to be around each other all the time, because each season, when they get to that episode or that week where they have a weekend together and they stay, you know what I'm saying? They stay like in a nice resort or something, and they spend a few days with each other. Those are the most interesting episodes, because we see how they all interact. More of their real personality comes through, because with productions, when you're taking a break for those one-on-one dates, you've reserved a restaurant, you've reserved a nice little eatery, you're putting your best face forward. It's like the first date, and we're not meeting the real person. We're meeting that person that's trying to look the best, that's trying to sound the best, because production wants the best. They say over and over again, for those of you who are unfamiliar with filming, oh, you know what, that was great this time, walk around this corner and look this way, pretend like you don't see the camera. That's where we get all those amazing shots before they walk into the restaurant. We have nobody else around. We have them focusing in on this perfect setting, the perfect shot. So when they get to these resorts, when they have the weekend when they all stay to each other, that real personality comes out. They have their clothes there, they're settling in, they have their own room, they can talk to each other, because they've had more time to get to know one another instead of just a few hours or calls or text messages throughout the week. Swayze to me seems like a really, really good guy. Unfortunately, I think everybody that's there, the women that are there, are not a match for him. Kadian seems to be more of a match for him so far, because they have this very lax, get to know somebody, have fun vibe. They still have that nice, chill Miami vibe. They're just trying to, look for something real, but they know they're not trying to leap into something too fast. They just kicking it. They doing their best. And if things are what they want, like Swayze said, hey, I need to make sure I'm not going into relationships too fast. Last person I was with, I was ready to get married, make, a house, everything. They have very playful, very settled and vibrant, attitudes when it comes to enjoying life. When it comes to Kadian's personality, she says what she wants, she means what she says, and sometimes it comes off very, very abrasive, because she's not wasting time in knowing what she wants. I don't think there's really anybody that's a match for her there either. And it comes off as harsh with Charisse, because those words and how she treats people and how she talks about people. A lot of people on this show, I really, really think they just need to continue dating, because the end goal of this show is something serious, going into a serious relationship. And I've said before, I think that at the end of the season, they shouldn't say ready for love. They should say, I'm ready to continue dating with this person, and not force them into meeting family and meeting friends. Like, it's so pushing them into to do something so serious. And there needs to be little tweaks here with the show that would make it way better. When it comes to Kayla's looking for something serious. EJ's looking for something serious. And one thing that kind of is like to me is Shakira. We know you're a mom, we know you have your son, we know that's a big part of you, right? But when you mention it as if, it's hard to explain, but it's just like she's behaving as if she's the only single mom on the planet. They brought you in knowing that you were a single mom. The men on the show and the candidates that are left know that you're a mom. So chill. Like, they know. Like Zo says, hey, I have a daughter. I mean, hey, I know how you feel. I know what you're talking about. Like, it's kind of like this. you're not giving yourself a chance. When you mention your son, it's just kind of like, I don't know. It's like I don't know how to explain it, but just chill out. Go on these dates and just chill. Chill. Sampson, to me, seems like he's very genuine in what he says. He does want a relationship, but it's something I can't put my finger on where he's saying that, but maybe his actions might be something a little different. This season is only going to be interesting because of drama. I don't think it's going to be interesting because of true connection. The people that seem like they're really, really there for love, to me, is EJ. He seems really genuine and lighthearted. Looney, she seems like she's really there for something special. It's just unfortunate when it comes to shows like this, it's hard to decipher who's real or not, because TV, reality television, is superficial. Let me know what you think. Stay tuned for another episode. Also, get ready for Atlanta, that's coming soon, and House of Dragon, and so much more. Stay tuned, and also make sure that you check out season 2 of Belle Collective. If you haven't seen any of Belle Collective, make sure that you binge watch Belle Collective season 1. In the meantime, in between time, remember to take care of yourself and each other. Bye.